Hello everybody, Justin John here, American Mustang School, and these are my teachers. These guys help me help others, and what I want to share with you today is how they help us. What do they help us with? How does it work? Well, each and every one of these horses I have a relationship with. They help me see myself through their eyes. So we have 5 areas of our lives we want to improve. We're going to go through those: health, wealth, our happiness, our spirituality, our relationships. I think I got all 5. And it's one of those things. Each one of these horses, each individual relationship I have with them taught me something about myself and helped me in self-discovery, which helped me in self-mastery. So what we're going to do is get started here. And I want to introduce each horse to you and let you know what they taught me. And just know this, it's just one little aspect of what they taught me. They've taught me so much, but I want to give you kind of a perspective on how horsemanship works, and then the sacred art of horsemanship and helping people become better people. Now we got trains and planes and helicopters in the background and all that stuff, but hopefully the sound's coming in good and you can understand what we're saying. Each one of these guys has been with me quite a while, and they're definitely part of my family. So they help me become who I am today. And I often get asked, why horses? What drew me to horses? Well, horsemanship. It's something that's so real. It's so interesting, and its cause is the self-study. The effect of self-study. So the cause of horsemanship is the effect of self-study. And I get to find out more about myself each engagement with each individual that you see here. So horsemanship is the art of self-study, if you really want to break it down. It's the sacred art of horsemanship, which is a set apart way of studying ourself. What I perceive of myself and what that horse perceives of me may be totally different. And then the same on each one. So as we introduce ourselves to a horse in a relationship, they're different. So we have to change. We have to adapt and create this relationship that's going to enrich my life and their life. So how do I do that? Well, I've created what's called a 5-part series. It's a series of 5 questions I'll ask any and every horse to get a deeper understanding of that horse. Get a deeper understanding, or allow them to have a deeper understanding of me. But the most beautiful thing is I get a deeper understanding of myself, and they get a deeper understanding of themselves in the horse-human relationship. See, they're just fine out there swatting flies, chewing grass, procreating, moving about. They don't need me. But when I invite them into the human element correctly, I have the opportunity to help them ascend in a consciousness. They get to feel feelings they haven't felt, think thoughts they haven't thought, do things they've never done, experience life in a whole new perspective. So you can take one thing and you can have 360 degrees of perspective on that one thing. So this particular horse, there's 360 degrees of perspective. I could view him or look at him or interact with him, and him me. Different days, different things, all the different things we're going to discover in life. And then you go into this horse, it's different. This horse is different. This one, this one, this one. So each horse brings something in the relationship that's going to help grow and develop to become a better person. Self-discovery, self-mastery. Because whatever we think and we do, we become. Whatever they think and do, they become. It's just that simple. So these 5 levels of horsemanship that I teach at this school, we start with grooming for mindset. We got to go into the mind. What are we thinking? What have our thoughts been? What's our dominating thoughts? What are we bringing into this relationship with a horse? Grooming for mindset, yeah, we're going to groom the horse. We're going to brush them. We're going to get them all relaxed and get them on a wavelength so we can go do something with them. I groomed each and every one of these guys before we started this, got them in a mindset. The reflections in their body tell me what their mind is thinking. Whenever they're nice and relaxed, we start this exercise or whatever it is, video, for example. So we start in the mind. Then we got to watch the body, the mind and the body, because we're dealing with a mind, body, spirit complex. Each and every one of these guys have the four things that we have: thoughts, emotions, attitude, action. I've got to watch my thoughts, present my thoughts to them. Stay right there, buddy. You're good. Present my thoughts to them, and then observe the feedback from them and make changes as necessary and present again. The body, the mind, body, spirit complex. We're going to go into that in the 5 levels. So the second level is established communication. I've got to have a way to ask them questions and get the feedback. I've got to be thinking, doing, thought and action to become a character. So I've got to create a character in each one of these horses based on them, not what I preconceive they should be. I want to invite them up and let them be themselves in this relationship. So the thoughts, emotions, the attitude, the action that they feed back to me, I will help them through giving them a voice. I will help them understand what is expected, what this life enrichment is in the human element, how they can be a part of something that otherwise wouldn't have been, and create willingness in them to want to do it. So these 5 levels. Level 3, that's transition from the ground to their back. We're going to communicate just as we did in level 1 and 2, go to their back. So I know, Bubby, I know. Stay right here. I know you want to come to me. Stay right here. We're going to do something in a minute, okay? And it's one of those things, horses want to engage. They want to be with us. They're comfortable when we give them a voice. In level 3, we transition to their back. Now we're moving in unity. Basically, their legs are extensions of your legs. You're thinking, you're feeling, you're doing. Your thoughts, emotions, attitude, actions are reciprocated. They're synchronized in what we call a feedback loop. Level 4, we transition into obstacles, man-made obstacles, where we're solving problems together. We're asking questions and maneuvering together, moving in preparation for level 5, which is real-world focus riding out in the world. Level 5 is where we'll be on their back, moving across earth in anything you want to do, any discipline you want to do, having a feedback loop with your horse where no outside influences can affect your insides. Meaning you're aware of the outside influences, but they have little to no effect on your feedback loop with your horse. You can get mind to mind with your horse, body to body, spirit to spirit. The spiritual plane, the mental plane, and the physical plane, they all combine, and they move in unity together with you and the horse. See, horses are awesome for these 5 areas that we want to increase or benefit or make better. And that's our health. We'll start there. If you don't have your health, the rest is probably pointless. You've got to have your health. You got to have mental health, physical health, spiritual health. You've got to have self-discipline. Accountability partner in a horse will help you develop self-discipline. Why not? They're motivators. You know, we get to play with horses. It's a motivation. You get to create a relationship with each and every one to discover yourself, to master yourself. You know, a lot of times people ask me, what certifications do you have? Are you qualified to do what you do? I'm here to tell you, you're qualified if you can solve your problem, if you can help others solve theirs. That's what it is. You're adding value to yourself. You're adding value to someone else. Each and every relationship I have with these horses, that's the premise. I want to add value to them, which in turn add value to myself. I obviously want to add value to myself, so I'll give my best to the horse, and then I observe their feedback, and the desirable results, I'll keep them. If undesirable, I'll make changes and present again. And I get the true, honest feedback from a horse. They're not going to lie, they don't even know how. So it's one of those things where, as we practice this, we develop this relationship over time and a deeper understanding of ourselves, of the horse. And then we can have other people come in, and we've raised our vibrational frequency up so high that the horses feel the differences in frequency in different people, and they want to help. They're like, oh, this is what we're doing? It's like, yeah, brother, this is what we're doing. And sister, Cinnamon here, this is what we're doing. We're helping people come up in conscious awareness. We're helping them understand that they can heal themselves by just bringing up their vibrational frequency. Horses feel your heartbeat. They hear it 3 to 4 feet away, especially when you're riding them. They feel your energy. They understand where you're at based on vibrational frequency and what you're presenting in action. And they'll help you harmonize, which is agree within yourself and them. So remember, think, do, become. You generate, you create and you regenerate. And that's the beauty of horsemanship. It's not one and done. You know, you're consciously doing something in your conscious mind. Yeah, I want to think, do, become. And as you do that through practice, law of repetition, you create the subconscious understanding of what it is you want to become, your character. It'll manifest through practice. You want to be kind, you practice kind. You want to be quiet, you practice quiet. You want to not be anxious, you practice not being anxious. That's just that simple. It's tough to explain on a video, but when you get with a horse, you can ask them questions. Am I too fast? They'll say, they'll respond. Well, you slow down. Am I too slow? They'll respond. You speed up. You dial it in. It's the law of rhythm. It's the giving. It's the receiving. It's the giving. It's the receiving. It's the breathing in and the breathing out. So we'll move on to wealth. I'm going to have to change my board around to follow my notes, but we'll go on to wealth. You add value to other people. You add value to yourself, and it's worth something monetarily. You breathe in, you breathe out. It's worth something. You breathe in and just keep it, it's going to diminish in value. But if you breathe out and you get room to breathe in again, you develop this breathing in and breathing out, and there's value in that. You show someone else how to do it, really valuable. Horsemanship, I've done a lot of great things with horses, a lot of great things with people. And it's one of those things, the breathing in, the breathing out, you will understand it more when you actually experience it, because you get a sense of it just off this video, but you won't get the understanding. Experiencing it is what is going to happen with understanding. The sense of it, the understanding, they merge together. That's the essence. That's the spirituality. So it's the same with horses. Whenever you present yourself to a horse, you give them something. They're going to give you feedback. You get to receive something. And these 5 areas will increase in your life. So you add value to a horse, you'll add value to yourself. If you add value in any relationship, you'll add value to yourself. So the all, everything you're in relationship with, you're in relationship with the sun, you're in relationship with the ground you walk on, the water you drink, the food you eat, the people you interact with. It's some sort of a relationship. And there's all kinds of perspectives to look at that relationship. The next key is happiness. The next area of our life is happiness. We want to find joy in all relationships, obviously. We want to find joy in what we do. We play with horses. So when I come out here and I ask these horses to halter up and come with me, I groom my mind before I got with them. I want to ask them to come with me, not I'm going to halter and drag you down here and you're going to do this. No, it was a sincere, hey, can I halter you up? Do you want to go make a video? Please, ask them. And as you can see, they're all willingly here. They can run away. Pipers like proving it. So go ahead and back up here, buddy. I'll introduce you in just a second. Just a second. Let's get you back. Right into a stop. So play. Whenever you get to play, it changes something in your mind. You could say work a horse. You can say that, but change it to play with a horse. It does something in your mind. It creates a whole new perspective. We're playing. We're making a video. How fun is this? I mean, this is pretty cool. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I hope they're in frame. They kind of wiggle around and whatnot. But nothing's perfect, right? And that's the beauty of horsemanship. If they all stood there in perfect little line, we could practice it and make that. But I've never done this exact thing, so this is pretty cool. I'm just having a blast doing this, man. It's pretty fun. So we go into spirituality. I already kind of explained that sense and understanding, the essence, when those merge together. It's the breathing. It's ascending in consciousness. It's the breathing in and out. It's the give and receive. And that's the sacred art of horsemanship. Whenever I say sacred art, it's a set apart way of interacting and studying yourself and getting a perspective from someone else. And they're not going to lie. They're true. They're honest. They give you feedback. They allow you to make changes. And this is kind of a microcosm way to do it. You get a horse and you get to ask questions. You get to really get some feedback, and you get to feel. You get to think, feel, understand. There's 2 pathways of communication in horsemanship. There's the inner pathway. There's the outer pathway. So that inner pathway is thought and emotions. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What is he thinking? What is he feeling? What What is my attitude and outward emotion? What is my attitude? What are my actions? What are their attitude? What are their actions? Their body is a reflection of what's going on in their mind. You know, whatever they're doing, they're probably thinking. I mean, that's just the way it works. So if I want to understand what they're thinking, I've got to be able to ask them questions. And I use that 5-part series of 5 questions to ask them. Then they give me the feedback. That's how we develop that relationship and understanding. So I think I went through all 5: health, wealth, happiness, spirituality, relationships. If you wanted me to break any one of those down, you know, we could do a whole video on each one. Like I said, this is just an overview. And, you know, I don't really know how much time they're going to not want to wiggle around and walk away. You know, I'm asking them to stand there. I haven't tied them to make them do it. So it's kind of like, yeah, let's just ask them within a realistic expectation to stand here while we do a video. So I'll start introducing each one. So this little black horse here, this is Harley. And what Harley taught me is to be brave and stoic about things. He was one of those guys that when I went to pick him up at the facility, he was scared to death. In fact, some of the facility managers told me this horse is probably not trainable. You know, he was really, really wild as far as the label he came with. However, he got into my stock trailer. You know, they got him in. We took him to the ranch, and I backed up and put him in a round pen. And, you know, I kind of asked him to come out, and he stepped out, and he shook, took a deep breath, and it was like he never missed a beat as far as the way he was probably in the wild into the human element. I was actually riding Harley in 5 days. So about the 3rd day I could have, but you know, I want to make sure. So about the 5th day I rode Harley, and he never offered to bolt, buck, bite, kick, nothing. He was just a perfect little gentleman. But he was scared, real scared, but he was brave. And he taught me, well, when you're scared, just be brave. And then he's real stoic. He won't show any emotion. You got to kind of drag it out of him. Like, tell me, buddy, tell me what you need. And he's just a perfect little gentleman. He taught me that. He taught me to be brave and stoic. I like that qualities, the great qualities. And there's so many more I could tell about Harley, but I just want to give you the key points. So Cinnamon, this little mare here, most of you know her from the Emma, my little daughter, video. Cinnamon is just an affectionate, compassionate mother hen mare. All of these are geldings. She's a mare. This little Mustang here has just been a doll. She taught me compassion. She's very compassionate for each and every individual here. Very affectionate to each and every individual here. I learned that through her. Is if I can just, you know, practice compassion, practice affection, and understanding of where someone's coming from, you know, a horse, where they're coming from, what their needs are. And then we can understand that individual so much more efficiently and effectively. And this guy, he wants to wiggle, so let me just bring him over here. And we're going to bring your hind end this way. There you go. And put you there. And then you're wiggling over here, so let's bring you up. You get curious about the other horses there, Jason? You want to get in here a little closer to the camera? Do that. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come on, you can do it. Come on up here. Don't be shy. Piper's kind of sitting on the row. All right, both of you guys, come on up here. Come on. Come on, a little closer. Come here. Come here. Right up there. Come here, Dad. Come on. A little bit closer. Come on. That's it. Right there. Stand on the road. You can come off here too, baby. A little bit closer. Come on, buddy. There you go. Oh, don't sit down. Come on. A little bit closer. Right there. All right, let me see it. You guys in there? Sometime you want to come a little closer? Maverick, or Harley, you want to come a little closer? Come on a little closer, buddy. There you go. Right there. Good. Good. All right, sunshine. Right there, Harley. Good. Very good. So stay right there. Good job. Okay, so you're fine right there. You're wiggle worming in. So where were we? We talked about Harley. We talked about Cinnamon. Lost my train of thought. That's okay. Piper. Yeah, this guy here, one that wants to get in the camera shot. He taught me, man, he taught me willingness to change. This one here. So all of these horses will do pretty much the same thing whenever you want to go bridle. You know, I run bitless bridles on all these guys, so if I put a bitless bridle on all them, I do it the exact same way. This guy, something happened to his ears. You know, when I got him, it was kind of a sad story, but I got him out of a junkyard and just kind of neglected. And I don't know what they did to his ears, but he doesn't like his ears touched in the beginning. You know, as you play with him and all that, he's fine. But he suffered some sort of a trauma with the ear thing. So putting a bridle over his ears, he'll sit back, he doesn't like it. And I can force it and get it done. You know, I walk with him about 10 steps and I can get it done. But my bridle, that bitless bridle I made, it comes apart for mules. So I just simply halter him or bridle him like a halter. I just bring it apart, put it over, and he doesn't mind. And I thought, wow, if I'm willing to change for the horse, look how much more beneficial this is for him. You know, in this game of life that we're both playing. It's like, be willing to change. You know, all these horses do it my way, you know, right? Well, he asked me if I could do it different. And at first I was like, no, this is the way we do it. But then I thought, wait a minute, what's wrong with bridling you like a mule? Now coming off, come right over his ears, all of them, the exact same way. So he taught me willingness to change, guys. And that's one of the most beautiful things about horsemanship is we get to change and test ourselves. Like, well, what if I do this? And then the horse responds. And it's like, well, what if I do this? And the horse responds. And you really get to see from their perspective what you think you are. So in other words, how you perceive yourself may be different than how that horse perceives you. And then that one, and that one, and that one. So I've been blessed to have these horses and play with them and then introduce other people to them. And then I get to travel all over the place and play with other horses that these horses prepared me for. So that's a beautiful experience in this life that I want to share with you. And, you know, my grandchildren watching this one day, that's kind of cool. Horses allow you to look at yourself and discover yourself and find out what you think about yourself, how you perceive yourself, and then how the world perceives you. They may be two totally different things, which is okay. It's just develop the awareness so you know. And horses really help us do that. And all the people that come through that gate and come into this arena, they get to discover themselves in horsemanship. They get to heal themselves. I'm not the healer. I just vibrate at a certain frequency, and I ask my horses to vibrate at a certain frequency. And those people, they will levitate up to that frequency and feel it and experience it. And they get a sense of it, they get an understanding. When those merge together, they get the essence of it. They get to breathe, finally breathe. They get to discover themselves and breathe in and give something and create something and then regenerate it and continue to grow and develop into a better person. Okay, so let's move on to Peso. Peso's a white horse back there. Yeah, you see him perk up? That's him. He is a character. He is the funnest horse I have. He's like a comic. He's a character. Most people that have ever played with Peso, they know that's a character. You start rattling a little piece of plastic, he's going to come check it out. The thing he taught me is adaptability. He can adapt to any rider. I don't care, any person, child, adult, elderly, it doesn't matter. I can put them on his back, he'll take care of them. He adapts to each and every person, and he's very stable. The stability in that horse is off the charts. I've put people with prosthetics on him, he'll take care of them. I've put little sick children that cannot get hurt, they cannot fall on the ground, he'll take care of them. He is stable and he's adaptable. And that's the character I want to develop in myself. I want to be able to adapt to any person that comes into this arena, all walks of life. I don't care what they've been labeled, I don't care what they call themselves, it doesn't matter. Because we're all one, we're all humans, we're all living beings. We all have a mind, a body, a spirit. And that's a beautiful thing to understand, being able to be adaptable. Okay, so Whiskey, this is my horse, this is my personal horse right here, this little guy right here. Whiskey Boy, that's his name. And he taught me probably the most about myself than any other horse. I've got thousands of hours on his back mountains of Colorado, guiding, pack trips, you name it. I've been with this horse the most. He's taught me patience. He taught me how to create willingness and attract what it is I want rather than to force submission to take it. He's essentially 10 horses in one. So you're looking at 8 horses. Well, he's pretty much 10 horses in one, because he's so much wisdom. I know you got a lot of wisdom too, Piper, and you don't need to block him. So let's back up. One more step. There you go. So Whiskey Boy, he's like I say, 10 horses in one. It took me 14 days to touch Whiskey. He's a wild horse, invited into the human element, but he was one of those that assessed the situation to the finest degree. And if I wasn't calibrated in the correct way at any given time, he would let me know. When I tried to force submission in any way, he would rebel. Naturally, he should. You know, anytime we cause irritation or obstruction in another living being, they're going to respond in a manner that is rebel. They want to definitely resist in some way to doing that. That's not natural. It's not flow. It's not allowing to breathe in and breathe out. So he taught me patience. I couldn't take something too fast, too soon. I had to give and understand how to attract. I had to create willingness in Whiskey to give me something that I was worthy of receiving. And that's a beautiful characteristic of Whiskey. Now, each and every horse does that. I'm just giving an overview of each one, kind of a dominant character that I can share. I can't say enough nice things about Whiskey because he has the most wisdom of any horse that you're looking at. He's an old soul. He's got deep wisdom, and he's the herd leader out of all these guys, and he's very good about that. He's not a dominating type leader, and I love that. Now, Maverick, this little pink horse back here. This is Maverick. He taught me to slow down, which I should have probably started with him, because breathe, Justin. Slow down. Breathe. He's very responsive. He's very willing. Got a lot of try. Doesn't take much to get him to do anything. Very responsive. And you know, I'd play with a horse like Piper. He's not. He's kind of opposite of Maverick. You got to kind of step up your game on a scale of 1 to 10. You got to be more. You got to bring it up. He needs it. He doesn't take offense to it. But then if you play with him and he's not willing to change to go play with him, you're going to see a result that is undesirable. He's going to respond, you know, maximum capacity. Slow down. That's what Maverick taught me, and I love that. I'm really thankful for that. And then we'll move to Sunshine here. This little Mustang, oh my gosh. He taught me to stay on my game. Pay attention. He commands my attention. He commands my focus. He's one of those that he thinks and analyzes everything, life and death. If it makes sense, he'll do it. If it doesn't make sense, he's not going to do it. It's that clear. It's that cut and dry. You know, horses are really smart animals. They're highly intelligent. You know, they're going to, you know, the ones that I play with, Mustangs, they're going to think to survive. They're going to poke their nose on a cactus and realize, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to eat the best grasses. You know, going into the health, they want the best grasses, the best water. They're going to sniff out and find the best of the best. Humans, not so much. You know, they'll just eat Snicker candy bars and ice cream and pizza, you know, whatever. Throw down, most of Americans that I know, that you throw something down in front of them, they're going to eat it. Doesn't matter, no question. But these guys, man, they want the best. They want to thrive. And Sunshine is one of those that wants the best from me. He commands my attention. He commands me to be on a level of mind, body, spirit, and harmonizing, you know, because he's on a level. And when we can synchronize on that level, he brings me up. He makes me better. He's like, look, man, I take this stuff serious, and if you don't, I'm going to let you know. And I love that about him. When I ride him in the mountains, we used to ride, but we're here in North Carolina now. When I ride him out on the, we got some game lands here. When I ride him out there, He loves to explore Earth. He's kind of horse. When you turn him back to the trailer, he slows down. Whiskey, I turn him back to the trailer, he speeds up. So they're just different. He loves to explore Earth. I've spent 3 days in the New Mexico desert with Sunshine, camped out, and it was a beautiful experience. He loves to go, he loves to explore, and he commands my attention the entire time. So developing a feedback loop with Sunshine brought me, I wouldn't have been prepared for Sunshine any time frame before getting him. In other words, 5 years before I got Sunshine, I wouldn't be ready for a caliber of horse like that. The time comes when the time is right. So in other words, when the student is ready, the master appears. And when I was ready, Sunshine appeared. And then we developed this relationship, and he's like, look, man, you've got to pay attention. I'm preparing you for the future. Future horses, future people. Whatever you think and you do, you become, and it'll manifest into a character. And you're presenting something with an expectation of a feedback. And if you're not in alignment, that is going to be suppressed. And that's what he taught me. And that's one of the most beautiful things I've learned in horses. I want what they are willing to reveal to me, but I know I have to be in alignment, mind, body, spirit, and attract it to be worthy to receive it. If you've lasted this far in this video, I want you to know not very many people are going to understand horsemanship the way horsemanship is supposed to be understood. This is man, I am so grateful. This is an experience in this life that otherwise not having, I would not be the person I am today. I would not have been able to help other people transition from where they are to where they wanted to be as efficiently and effectively. There's just no way. These guys have abilities to do things that I couldn't train them to do. So I'm going to ask him to just back up. I know you're a wiggle worm. I love that guy. Good dude. But these guys help me do things for others, for myself and for others. I can't train them to do. And when I say can't train them to do, I didn't know how to get them to do what they did for other people. It's not a training thing that I could do. In other words, they read emotion. They feel it. They know how to bring a person up. They have senses. 5 senses, of course, but they also have the ability to sense in others what the needs are of that other. They do it within themselves, in their own herd. Somebody's sick, they'll move them around. And I often wonder, how do they know he's sick? And they move him around and make him feel better. He'll be wanting to kind of lay around, and they're like, get up, you got to get moving. And it's like, wow, how do they sense that? How do they know that? When they're sleeping, and they'll stand over the one that's laying down sleeping, the heartbeats are heard. They can hear their heartbeats. If danger comes, the heartbeats pick up, so it's like a silent alarm. The horse that's asleep laying on the ground, he just stands up because he hears the silent alarm go off, the heartbeats. And that's a beautiful thing. They're really in tune with themselves and nature and the world. And they help us. They're gateways right for us to jump right back into nature and reconnect and understand what our thoughts, what our emotions, what our attitude, what our actions really mean in the world. In the micro or the macro. Obviously in the micro with the horse, but in the macro, like, what does it mean? If I think higher thoughts and feel higher emotions and my attitude's higher and my actions are higher, you just raised up into another level where you're going to attract what is at that level. And that's the healing aspect of horsemanship. That's the therapeutic value in horsemanship. That's how these guys, and once they know what you're after, they're willing to give it to you, man. I've had so many people come into this arena right here, and we practice our 5 levels of horsemanship, and each one of these guys, they'll step up and they'll bring something that I couldn't train them to do for that individual, that adaptability in each horse to a person. That's important. Well, I'm going to part with this, guys. The game of life. We don't want to get hurt out there. These guys will show us how to not get hurt. I've ridden each and every one of these hundreds and hundreds of hours, and we never get hurt. We harmonize, we agree. Created a piece of equipment, bitless bridle. The fundamentals and concepts behind that are what I'm getting ready to tell you. The other thing in the game of life, how to not get hurt, how to benefit. You know, my bitless bridle is an extension of my own arms. If I was sitting on this horse and I just push his face with my hands, of course I could steer him, but it's not practical. I need to sit up. So we create this device, this asking device. It's an extension of my own hands. It's a giving and a receiving. It's information transferring. It's not obstructing. It's not causing any aversion. It's not an irritant. It's nothing in their mouth irritating them. It's just as simple as a halter or a bridle hanging on their face, and the pressure of it's a question, the release of it's a thank you, and that's the conversation. And I've been on their backs, and we've explored Earth together and the game of life, and we learned together how not to get hurt, how to benefit. And they'll show you my book, A Horse to Guide Me. Each and every one of these was a guide. They prepared me for the next horse, for the next person. They get to come in and develop a conscious awareness higher than when they were out there in the wild. I love that for them. I want life enrichment for them. They want life enrichment for me. Everybody gets life enrichment. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful life in your horsemanship. Yeah, everybody's in the frame. Good job. All right, everybody look here. Hey, look over here. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.